Hello, everybody. This is Fernando for the latest aliens and UFOs encounters video. Once again, I'm featuring another creepy experience there from the new subreddit that I discovered recently, the one that's called Experiencers. That's the one that has some really fascinating entries, and it seems like a lot of you people here are loving them, and I love showcasing them. They're here too as well. It does still fall into the gray area, though, where some of those experiences are aliens, some of them could be something else. This one, though, is definitely aliens related, and you'll see more why here in a minute. But yes, it comes from a user by the name of Mwani. Once again, it's the reddit.com website. They're from the subreddit Experiencers, and they titled theirs as "The Time NHI Visited Me as a Kid." So let's go ahead and let's share this experience here. Love to hear what your thoughts and comments are as well. And then as always, I'll give my own afterward. So here's what it states. I came upon this subreddit on my main account. The main reason why I made this account is that so I could share my experience without judgment from anyone else that might come upon my account, whether it be a stranger or someone I know. I actually have two theories for what actually happened. The first one being that it was just sleep paralysis and my mind was playing tricks on me. The second one being that I was actually visited by NHI. I chose to believe the latter, as I'm a believer, always have, always will, and I do believe I've had more encounters that were either similar or closely related. So to begin, I was around 11 to 12 years old. It was around 2013. By then, I had already made up my mind that I believe in extraterrestrial intelligent life and that most of, if not a huge portion of reported sightings and experiences that I heard of are real. So I shared a room and a bed with my younger brother, who was around 6 or 7 at the time, as we were poor and had to fit in. I remember falling asleep on the weekend after our mother put us to bed until I woke up. I woke up, but I didn't open my eyes. However, I could hear the TV running commercials in the other room where my parents were sleeping. For context, we lived in a small apartment back then, the hallway leading to 2 rooms, one room being the kitchen/dining room that could also lead to the bathroom, and the other room being the living room, my parents' bedroom, as they slept on a couch that could expand into a bed. That room also led to me and my brother's room. The door had a blurred window so light could pass through it. So as the TV was facing my door, it lit up a huge portion of my room. Everything would be okay, but I remember having this weird feeling in my gut, like I was being watched or observed. It was one of the most uncomfortable feelings ever that ran shivers down my spine. Those shivers forced me to open my eyes. I raised my head to look at the room that was lit up by the TV in the other room, and behold, I see something peeking at me from the end of the sofa bed that me and my brother were sleeping on. It took me a few minutes to realize that something was moving upwards, and then I felt the shock hit me. I saw its eyes, nose, and mouth. I could also see its hand gripping the armrest of the sofa. It had large black eyes. I remember it had a tiny nostril. It looked like the nose was flat, but I can't really tell since it was staring directly at me. I didn't see a side profile. It had a tiny mouth and looked like it was trying to tell me something. It was trying to talk or maybe imitate my jaw dropping a little, I guess. It also tilted its head at me. Either way, it was your stereotypical gray alien. From what I could see, I figure it was around 4 to 5 feet tall, since it makes sense if it was perhaps hiding from me just to peek. I can't really tell. So at that moment, I froze. I couldn't move. I could either stare or close my eyes. I was scared to death almost. All I could do was shut my eyes, tremble for life, and force myself to lay back down, turn, curl into a ball, and hug my brother for comfort while my heart was racing and I was sweating. I was trying to scream to alert my parents for help, but I couldn't even do that. It felt like I was being choked the moment I tried to scream. So I just started praying, even though I didn't and still don't believe in God, and I was literally begging for God to help me. After what I could assume was 5 minutes of terror, I finally managed to scream the loudest scream ever. My parents rushed in, turned the light on, and asked what happened. I explained everything, and they told me it was just a nightmare. It wasn't. I never had nightmares feel like that ever, and I never remember any of my nightmares apart from this one. The strange thing about this, however, is that my brother didn't wake up from my scream. He was snoring off in his sleep like nothing happened. Make of this what you want, but I still remember this encounter to this day. Then that's it. That's everything that the user Mwani mentioned in their specific encounter. So let's talk about that here. Interesting stuff, right? This happened kind of recently. It looks like back in 2013. It sounded like him and his brother and overall his parents were all crammed into like a studio apartment of some sort. And so there they were in one area, the parents in another. There they were sleeping, him and the brother, on a sofa bed. And then the parents were elsewhere on another sofa bed, if I'm not mistaken. And then it happened that very night. Now, the user did mention at the beginning, he thinks that it could just be sleep paralysis. He just mentioned it very lightly, like in passing. What do you think? Do you think that could be the case? Could that be something where he in turn was having that item happen, that experience of sleep paralysis that others have as well, and that's what caused these illusions? Or, as he believes, it could actually be, it was real. It was absolutely real. He was visited by an NHI. I had to look that up too one more time to see what that meant. That meant non-human interaction, if I'm not mistaken, or non-human intelligence. Either way, though, he was visited by, as he stated, a stereotypical gray alien. Big eyes, small nostrils, very small, like 4 to 5 feet tall or so, and it looked like it was just peeking around the corner of the sofa bed as if it was climbing, as if it was caught. Like, who knows what it was going to do? Was it going to actually get on top of the little boy? Was it going to take him upwards, I guess, to a UFO? Who knows? But it just happened to be pure happen chance that he turned or woke up, and then whatever it was, that sixth sense in his body that was telling him that something was staring at him, looked in that direction, and then there it was. There it was, just looking right at him, and then he froze, and then he was almost paralyzed, and he couldn't even scream because he felt that something was choking him right at that moment. It was only until afterward that he broke whatever it was that was prohibiting him from doing anything, and then he screamed for his life, and everyone else came in afterward. Of course, the parents just dismissed it naturally as some form of a nightmare, probably to both appease things, I guess, like make things easier for the family. Otherwise, you would have to consider the fact, if you were to tell your children, yes, you were visited by aliens, son, that would absolutely make everyone never want to sleep there again. And that's probably not the situation that they could afford at that point. But either way, though, the parents dismissed it, and then that was it. That was the only, well, the most prominent one, because the user mentioned that there were other encounters. I just wish he would have mentioned it more on there. But let me know what you guys and gals think. Was this a visit from an NHI? What was this NHI going to do? What was this little gray alien about to do to the user? And the little brother was sleeping throughout the entire experience as well, even through that monstrous scream. Let me know what you guys think. All right, everybody. Thanks again as always. Take care. Bye.